history to create new curriculum that fills in some gaps that we know exist in curriculum for school children about Alabama history and environment. The emphasis for our work is going to be on civics and social studies. You may know, if you are an educator, that social studies has been just really neglected as a topic and a subject over about the last decade or so. We've made tremendous strides in math and science and English, but social studies, which is where we learn about what democracy means, we learn about our place, we learn about what our rights and responsibilities are as citizens, it has gotten sort of short shrift. But if you look at an anniversary of a state, we did not become a state by accident. This was something that was very deliberate. People came together, they had to work to do this, and they had to create a judicial system and a legislative system and figure out what kind of government they wanted and what this was going to be like. So to have children be thinking about what it means to be a citizen and what it means to be connected to a state, to this state, seems appropriate to, as a course of study during the bicentennial. We are going to focus on grades 3 through 5, and most of you know that 4th grade is usually when Alabama history is taught. It's also usually a moment when kids are beginning to find out who they are and how they fit in their community and in their family. So, and if you probably learned the state song in 4th grade, and I bet everybody here could still sing it, and if you can't, you will by the end of this bicentennial. But anyway, so that will be our focus. We have partnered with A+ education program. They will be looking at grades 6 through 12. They do a lot of college preparatory AP and IB programs, and they can take, they're well experienced in taking care of the older grades, but we will be laying the foundation for what they do in those early grades. So that's something really exciting. Schools will be able to become bicentennial schools, to apply to become a bicentennial school. In order to do that, they have to do a project, though. They have to find themselves in place and time, so they will identify themselves on a timeline, their community and their county maybe. It could be done in a number of different ways. But then they have to figure out what they want to do as part of the bicentennial. Some schools we know are already interested in oral history projects in their communities, interviewing elders. Some want to do school reunions and bring people back over generations to come back to celebrate that school. Others are very interested in native plants and doing beautification projects. And it's the non-natives that are the problems, but they'll be looking at the native plants and what they can do for beautification projects within their communities, and vegetable gardens in their schools. When you plant a vegetable garden, you learn math and science. You also can learn history, because these are the plants that, many of them native to Alabama, and that were we came to us through the Native Americans who lived here first. So there's a lot that you can learn through that. But as a community thinks about what it wants to do, that's really where we want to come in and be the most supportive and the most helpful as we can. And I'll circle back to that because I forgot to tell you, 2018 is the year of honoring our people. So that will be reunions too, and looking at our famous Alabamians and unsung heroes, and learning more and more about who we are and where we came from. That's a nice fit too with the festival in Birmingham, which will be about what people do and accomplish as artisans and as citizens and as people, residents of the state. Then in 2019, it will be sharing our stories. And so we hope by then the entire state has been able to do some projects that it can tell the rest of the state about. And the people will want to come to Prattville to take part in or to hear about, and other places in the state as they develop these projects. But y'all are really the first. And I think that gives, and just sort of to wrap this up, it's about the local communities. That's what the Bicentennial Commission really intends, is that this is an opportunity for a community to do something that it wants to do, that it feels will be an investment within its community. We are not going to be raising money across the state for the bicentennial from communities. That money needs to stay local. It needs to happen, to be available in your community to help accomplish what you want. And that can range from creating a bicentennial park to restoring a historic structure. There are just almost innumerable things that a community can do. We are not bound by those 200 years. I was telling someone earlier that we had a 2-hour conversation with somebody who's with the Daughters of 1812, insisting that they were very much a part of why we are Alabama, and that we can't neglect that 1812, even though it doesn't fall within the actual bicentennial period. So we want to go as far back as we need to, and as far into the future as you can see. And that's really what this should be about. So we are here today. You're going to hear from some resource people, and including Laura Hill, whom I will introduce in just a minute, about resources that are available to you that maybe will help you think about what you want to do, but also can be a help in actually implementing those as we go on. More than anything, we just want to jumpstart your thinking and your creativity. You may already have ideas, and we'll have a discussion afterward and hope we can get all those ideas out on paper and be strategizing and thinking about what you need to accomplish, what is really meaningful and important to Prattville and Autauga County. So with that, I'm going to introduce Laura Hill, who is with the Encyclopedia of Alabama, which is our online information source, free online information source of all things Alabama. I was on it this morning looking up Prattville and Autauga County and Elmore County and Boggs Pottery and all these things. They're just a wonderful information about this place and places all over Alabama. So, Laura.
Good afternoon. Howard's going to load a PowerPoint from something. How many people were here in Alabama in 1976, America's bicentennial? Were you in Prattville? Did Prattville do anything in celebration of the American bicentennial? Okay. Jay's talking about bringing something local. In addition to talking about the Encyclopedia of Alabama, I'm going to share with you a story or an event. Imagine a 13-year-old girl brought to Alabama against her will by her parents because her father has a job with the forestry industry. I hated being here. I didn't want to be here, and now today I'm promoting an online encyclopedia. During the American bicentennial, the city of Opelika spent a year celebrating America's 200th anniversary. The picture right there is a little promotional booklet that was also the program for a July 4th, 1976 community pageant. And when I say community pageant, it had horses, it had everything. It also had a downpour, but it felt like the entire town was there. It was put together by the Opelika Bicentennial Commission. By this time I'm 15 years old, so I don't know how it worked. But by appointment by His Honor the Mayor means that there was some top approval of this. And there was a committee, and Mrs. Parker right here was our favorite high school counselor. Community was involved. You can't read it from where you are. The Rotary Club, the Kiwanis Club, the Civitans Club, book clubs, Sunday school classes, they were all recruited to participate in community activities. But most importantly, the students were recruited. High school, Girl Scout troop, you can barely see it, but they were all wearing matching vests that somebody had made them. School students, the band, everybody was recruited to participate in this. And I bring this up because that summer was magical. For me, for my friends, we got to do things. There was a contest for painting fire hydrants. There was a bike decorating contest one day for a picnic. Some of the girls in the swim team got to do a water ballet. We did things all summer long, and it meant a lot to us. And I'm getting emotional about this because it really was important to me. And unfortunately, this is very dark, but here's the outline of the program for that July 4th event. And I bring this up because right here, playing President Washington in the first act was a gentleman named Lee Lamar. Now, I remember this guy riding in on a horse. It was 40 years later before I found out it was Jay Lamar's father that did that. But that's how much of a sense of community was brought in. This other one down here is my parents and my little sister. I'm not listed there because I'm doing lights, because I was in the drama club, and shining lights in a puddle. That night, I worked with a guy from the drama club. 6 years later, I married the man. That's how important this event was. But we bonded because we didn't get electrocuted from the puddle that was building up around the electrical supply. There are so many things that your community can do. The state's doing a lot. The Bicentennial Commission is coming up. But there are things within the community. They had 4 windows painted downtown, breaking up 50 years at a time. of American history. Imagine some of your storefront windows having a competition to do the windows, or just bringing different art classes or Sunday school classes in to do this. But it was a lot of people, it took a lot of organization, but these people are part of our community. And most importantly, the students remember it. There are pictures of my sister. She wouldn't take her little mob cap off. She wore it all summer long. We thought it was going to trip. So that's my spiel about why this is a wonderful opportunity for your community to come together and do things. All right. So the Encyclopedia of Alabama is my favorite thing to talk about, and it is your bicentennial partner. If anybody here familiar with the encyclopedia? Okay, good. So I won't talk. It is a free online resource on all things Alabama, and if I am able to do this, I should be able to load the site up, and we'll go back to that in a minute while that is loading. There we go. And since everybody likes looking up themselves on the internet, or things they know, I'm going to go ahead and bring up Prattville. Jay mentioned she was there. And as we search for this, we have an article on your town. As part of the bicentennial, we would like to really articles up. We have a, wow, that's really small on there. See if I can bring this. All right, I'm gonna have to, it's just 1 second, there we go. No, okay. Go back to this. There we go.